Jordan Ron. Russell Eaglebear. Lisa White Pipe. Steve Brave.
Here.
Stanley Woodenknife.
Oh.
Vanessa Red Hawk Thompson.
Here.
Michael Underman.
Here.
Fremont Fallis. Tennille Blackfeather.
Here.
Bill Marshall. Wayne Frederick. Eileen Schott.
Here.
Martha Blue Thunder. Sherry Wright Plank. Pam Kilsenwater.
Here.
Raymond Crow Eagle.
Here.
Dara Ayat.
Yes.
Donna Hollowhorn Bear.
Here.
Dwight Spotted Tail. 14. I think we're just going to start with the treasurer's report.
Good morning, council. Good morning, administration. Does everybody still have their handout from yesterday? Yes, for sure. I'm gonna make some more of those. And the IT director, did anybody see Santi? Well, we shall start with something else then. Yep, the stapled pack. While Brian makes copies, I'll have the sergeant hand out another resolution here. So Redco is in the process of requesting a $500,000 loan from Indian Collective to assist them with the Rosebud construction, the subsidiary program that they have, or outfit, rather. Those of you online, stand by. I will send to the council email the resolution. How many more you need, Sarge? 4 more? Is that 4? one more. Okay, I'll pass these ones down here to the administration. There's your copy. Thank you, sir.
Just wanted to let you know I'm gonna have to leave at 3 today.
Now, this is to rewrite one of their, excuse me, sorry, wrong thing. Sarge, will you hand these out too? And just as a reminder, council, this is still something outstanding that Redco has with the tribe, the second resolution. The first attachment is the actual resolution for borrowing from Indian Collective. I believe they are having some leniency with the first payment. I believe it's out 3 years and a lower interest rate than any of their existing loans. Oh, you just got them out, yeah. Those ones. He already did those ones, yeah. I need these ones, which I think are mixed in with these three. Stapled. These ones for Santi. Or are these all the bank ones? Oh, there he is. He's fast. Okay. If you recall, so I've attached resolution 2017-46, which I'll start at the fourth, whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Treasurer recommended the Rosebud Sioux Tribe borrower to obtain a line of credit in the amount of $500,000 from Bank of the West to purchase land in Winter, finalizing the design of a Class II gaming facility using bonds on deposit at Bank of the West. Therefore, be it resolved, the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council hereby approves the Rosebud Sioux Tribe to attain a line of credit in the amount of $500,000 for the purchase of land in Winter for finalizing the design of a Class II gaming facility using bonds on deposit as collateral to secure the line of credit. So we are requesting, or Redco is requesting to make a loan in the amount of Indian Collective. I have not seen that repayment agreement or the loan agreement itself, but we do also have this $500,000 that we have given to Redco in 2017, which was before my time. And so far they have only made interest payments on so they're not going anywhere with the principal balance on the $500,000 for that, just as an FYI. But Redco is requesting, I believe with board approval, requesting the loan from Indian Collective for $500,000, which is the first resolution that was handed out. And those of you online, it's coming in now. Pam?
Good morning, Administration, Council. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Treasurer, for a brief understanding, a couple meetings ago, we approved for us to use lost revenue to pay off one of the lines of credit at Bank of the West. Is this part of that?
So the line of credit then in 2017 was the advance was made for $500,000. That $500,000 was given to Redco for the purchase of land, which I'm not certain what Redco had done with. I'm assuming they purchased land for the another casino, which was probably in discussion back in 2017. But that line of credit we had paid down, and advanced a couple of times during my tenure from, but the balance that was still owed on the line of credit, because it's revolving, so as you pay it, the credit becomes available again to use, and so that balance was incurred for different purposes, paid for by the tribe's general fund.
But that was the 100 and some thousand that we approved to have you pay off with the loss of revenue a couple months ago, right?
I believe it was a little over 300,000,
Oh, okay, yeah.
340,000, I think, if I'm correct.
Okay, but that's what was encompassed in this, right?
No. So that has been, we were chipping away at the 500,000, which we incurred for the Redco purpose, but more was added to it since then, and the total balance was paid off with loss of revenue.
Okay, and so being that we paid that off and that was Redco that was to pay that off, and then also we had the Two Eagle trailer that was to be done by Redco. They made the loan from us. Is that being paid?
Yes.
Or did we pay that off too?
So the difference between this 500,000 and the Two Eagle, the loan for the Two Eagle home is, I had recommended that we have a loan agreement with the board of directors or with Redco itself, between the tribe and Redco, for the repayment of that. This 500,000 does not have anything of that sort. In the repayment agreement for the Two Eagle home, we identified an interest rate and a term for the repayment of that loan. But I don't know that that was ever communicated to Redco for this 500,000, or if they're under the impression that the payments that they're making are to be without interest. I don't know what the discussion was back in 2017, but the breakdown that we have in finance that Lori Shields had provided me indicates that there was some sort of agreement with an interest rate involved based on the payment structure.
Okay, so going back to the Two Eagle trailer, we did have a discussion on the council floor regarding the repayment. I believe our people that sat on the board for Redco were supposed to take that to their board and come up with some kind of negotiation with you to bring that forward to the council floor for us to approve. Now, I haven't seen nothing on that, and you're saying that there hasn't been no discussion with you on the repayment plan, correct?
Correct. I do have a touch point with Clay scheduled, though, to discuss this. I don't know that the board has been involved in anything. There's been a transition of leadership there, and we had a previous meeting scheduled, but he was out with an injury.
Okay, so I guess it's kind of hard to approve something for Redco when we don't know the status of the Two Eagle trailer. Now, has that trailer been set down? Has all the concerns that were given at that time regarding the previous house and all of that, do you know if that has all been hashed out?
I am not certain. Are there any council reps that sit on the Redco board present? Is Wayne present? No.
Wayne and Lisa aren't here.
Excused. And Wayne Boyd is out, and I'm not certain where the chairman is, but I don't know the status on what Redco has done with that. I do know that there was an invoice that they had received from Eisman Home for the purchase of that double wide. I'm not certain if it was delivered and set up for the family.
Okay. I think right now, anything that deals with Redco requiring loans from us on our lines of credit is kind of mute right now because of the situation with prior loans and the agreement that needs to be put in place regarding that trailer house.
Sure.
So, I myself, and I don't know what my colleagues think, but I don't think that we should, be allowing another line of credit to them if we don't have an understanding of what's going on with the trailer house, because that was a lot of money and, you know, it was Redco's responsibility to take that on. We ended up being the ones to loan them the money, and we just as well have did it ourselves. But, again, that's another conversation, but thank you.
This, like I had stated, I have not seen the agreement with, who's Alex? Oh, Wayne is on.
Yep.
Wayne, this is Pam. Has the Redco board done any kind of negotiating with the tribe regarding that Two Eagle trailer house loan that we did? We did that on we did that line of credit at Bank of the West for Redco, and there was I think it was a MOU or something with the payback agreement on that, with the different interest rate and all of that. Has the board met on that, and has the board discussed any of that?
Yeah, wasn't that already approved?
What did he say?
That was approved, wasn't it?
Well, we approved to do the loan for Redco, but
Right.
there was supposed to be a MOU on a contract for the repayment, but remember the interest was different from prior, the period of the line of credit was different, and so council allowed for Redco board to review and set up, because Clay was just now coming in as the new director of Redco, so there was supposed to be a discussion on the repayment plan of this.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I thought that was all settled and was taken care of underneath Redco. The repayment plan and everything.
From
Uh,
my understanding, the treasurer was supposed to have met with Redco
Redco, yeah.
with Clay after the board had agreed upon the MOU that was put in place by council. Council had required a higher payback. There was a different interest rate on it. So the board was supposed to make a decision on that, and I don't know where that's at. But that's what I'm wondering, because I know the council approved for it, but the MOU isn't, there's nothing documented as far as an MOU sitting in place in finance for receiving payback on that. So that's why I was asking if your board got to meet regarding all of it.
Is Lisa there today?
No, she's running late.
Oh, hi, Wayne. I just got on Zoom, but I'm over by your turn off at your house.
Yeah.
You know, we never discussed the repayment program on the board level that I'm aware of, unless it was at a meeting that I didn't go to. But
I just got a message with Clay.
We haven't heard from him, or he hasn't come to present to council. And I think we should table this resolution until the last Wednesday of this month, when they're scheduled to come to council to present. That way we can ask questions of him that he can answer. So that'll be my motion.
He said Clay just messaged me back and said that he hasn't met with Steven yet to work out the specifics of finalizing the loan.
We do have a schedule touch point. Clay, myself, and his finance team. With the transition, I believe we had missed each other a couple times. He was out with an injury, and I had been out sick one time.
Okay.
But with the lending from Indian Collective, do you know if the president was involved in that conversation?
I'm not aware if he is, but I did make a motion to table this resolution until they do come make their report to council.
Understood.
Can you just pull it back so you can get all the info and then bring it back at some time in the future when you get all the information? Can you do that? Yes. Unless Lisa still wants to table it.
Lisa, you still want to table it?
You still to make that motion?
Yes, I make the motion to table it until we can get a report from Clay. He hasn't been to council yet, and then I think if he's there in person, he can better answer our questions on regarding these loans that are out.
I'll second.
Eileen?
Yes.
Donna? Stanley?
Oh,
Ray?
Yes.
Tennille?
Yes.
Wayne?
No.
Lisa?
Is this to table it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
14,
Opposed?
0. Not voting, 3.
Okay, motion carried.
Up next, council. Yesterday, we had a motion to table the resolution for the IT department for the Google Workspace with amendments made to the resolution which have been made. I believe you all should have received the handout on the second page. On the final whereas, you can see that the underlined verbiage is the language that was added for the repayment to the tribe from the IT department, and also in the fifth whereas on the first page, the sixth bullet point, all dispute subject to Claymont, Delaware jurisdiction only, has been stricken from the resolution. We have the IT director present again for discussion, and any questions that you all may have. Santi may be directed to Santi. Also, I have lost my work phone, and so if somebody would like to text this to the group chat, for the ones online, I don't, I only have my personal cell.
Good morning, Council Administration. So in your packet, you're going to find the business license that was submitted as of yesterday for it, for it's a hard name to pronounce, Dolo Inc. I included with that packet the features for the email, the newer features that we're purchasing, but also there's also an email in there explaining why we are upgrading and the reasons behind it. For any questions of because of the price tag on it. So if you have any questions about that, I'm open to.
do you have a breakdown of the charges?
Yes, in that, if you look at your packet here, there'll be an,
I guess I don't have that packet. Yeah, we just have this.
They picked them up yesterday.
okay. Okay, so in the packet that you're receiving right now, in the email from the company, it explains the breakdown.
I have a question.
Ray, go ahead.
So the costs that are being reimbursed, is that going to be at cost, or would there be a percentage added on that?
Is that your recommendation?
Currently, it'd be at cost. Due to the cost per individual license, I can't foresee adding a percentage to that. I don't think it would be right on IT side to add that 7.5 to it. So what you're seeing is at cost to all the programs.
Also, Ray, I have a question for your question.
Yes.
Were you asking if the IT was going to add a percentage when they build the programs, or if the tribe's general fund is going to charge a percentage to the IT department when they repay the $388,800?
I guess it was on the IT side. Whenever they charge a program, if they were going to do an up cost on it. I was just wondering if the each program would be charged at cost rather than with that.
Understood. Santi, what is the current charge for an email?
Currently, right now, the emails are $72 with, with a small IT percentage added to that, comes up to about $77. But now, with this upgraded package that we're getting, the cost has increased exponentially. It's around $167 a license now. So I can't, I hate to see programs incur any more costs than they actually should. That's going to put a little bit of a hit on IT, but I think for the overall benefit of the tribe, the programs are paying $167 per license, and that's for 3 years. 167 times 3 for 3 years. So that cost is, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of programs. So I don't see us putting our percentage on there for this.
Go ahead, Pam.
From my understanding of IT's conception or becoming, there wasn't to be any kind of extra charge. Am I wrong on anything that you guys do, because you guys are funded through indirect?
For indirect programs, there is no charge for the services that we already paid for. However, we have a general side that can do that kind of work, that charges for, say, for example, we do cabling of a building. That comes out of IT revenue to provide the materials to facilitate cabling or any kind of hardware that's needed for that. Unless the program chooses to pay for it themselves, but that's the time that we actually have a service charge. I know there's other outside entities that do charge for that, but if it comes back to IT, then we do provide that service charge.
Okay, I was just curious on our tribal programs. Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Santi, since you guys basically resell, do you have a business license?
I don't believe we do.
I should probably get one if you guys are reselling and using, or everybody who does business on the tribe has to have a business license.
Okay, are we on, I guess I missed out on all the conversation. Sorry for being late. I forgot I had a meeting up at Water Resources. They had a South Dakota leadership team up there that I was supposed to talk to today, and they were calling me, so that's why I'm late. Did we get the questions of jurisdiction and all that stuff on the resolution taken care of? What's that? Oh, you didn't get that far? Okay. Is there any more questions for Santi? Go ahead, Russell.
I noticed in the resolution, you crossed out all the streets. Will be and then there was a whereas added where the cost of renewal of subscription shall be reimbursed by each tribal program, department, and office. And I think one of the questions Lisa had was, are they going to get charged on a monthly basis or a yearly basis?
Programs will get charged on an annual basis for the emails.
Okay.
And so the language in the resolution, we'll send out the invoices to the individual programs for how many licenses they purchase. That in turn will go back to the general fund.
Okay, yesterday we had a conversation with our attorney, and one of the things, you know, just for our own, even though we took that number 6 out, you know, this company apparently doesn't have a vendor's license here on the Rosebud. Under the vendor's license, he told us that we can be protected because there's some language in there that protects the tribe. So how come we're not requiring this company to purchase a tribal business license?
The company in question that when I took over at Tenure as the director, this had been doing business with this company for a number of years, and I wasn't privy that it didn't have a license up until a couple days ago. However, now they have submitted their license and payment for it for the Rosebud Sioux tribe. They turned it in yesterday. But like I said, the language has been changed, so now they fall back into any disputes.
Oh, they were, you know, but now they're going up. Now we're talking over $100,000 a year for the next 3 years, which comes up to over $250,000. To me, that's a big chunk of money. So in return, they could easily purchase a business license. So, and I think Eric is here now. Under the business license, we have protection. We have some protection, right, Eric? So why not require them? I mean, they're raising the rates on us, you know, and they put stipulations in here, yet we can't even do that. I mean, we should be doing that. We should say number 6. Vendor must purchase a tribal business license.
I believe, Council Rep, that the price changed because of an upgrade to the account that we hold with Google. So we went from one tier up to another one, correct, Santi?
Let me explain that the pricing tiers, due to the fact of as many accounts as that we have, there were a basic, it's called G Suite, that they no longer offer as a package. The next packages, 2 packages up, we didn't qualify because we were over the 300 user limit on those packages. So now they moved us up to the enterprise, which is, I think, 500 and above for accounts, if not more. And that was the reason for the price that went up. And as far as the business license, they do have one now.
They do,
They do have one right now.
but we should have it on our resolution just to clarify, in case we ever get into any kind of dispute in the future.
I think maybe Eric can answer the question better than I can, the legal side of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, huh? Yes, because, that, down the road, it gives us protection. You know, 3 years from now, we can be sitting here, maybe having a dispute and, to me, it's just a legal protection. But I'd like to see that I haven't seen it, but I'm sure Eric did, your contract, apparently they have a business license, which I didn't know until just now when you mentioned it. But it should be on this particular resolution.
Eric?
Mr. Eagleberry, good morning, Councilman. Answering your question, I asked Santi for a copy of an agreement. We really should have an agreement for this size of an acquisition, because this is just a quote. And I haven't reviewed one.
Can you use a mic?
I asked Santi for a copy of the agreement. Sometimes the agreements have other terms that, in the fine print, that I make sure and go through and read so we're not missing anything. And so far, all we have is the quote.
What's the timeline on this again? Santi, was supposed to be?
Well, initially it was March 3rd, and then we asked for an extension. So they gave us, I believe, till the 8th. But due to the fact that the price tag on this, and it going in front of council for approval, I asked them if they could give us a 5-day working day extension, which expires next week on Tuesday. In the past, IT had paid for out of own revenue for the entire sum, which was considerably less than this. I believe last year it was around 64,000, and we had paid for that, and we just had invoiced out to all the programs to replenish our revenue at that point. However, this year, due to the fact that it's now 6 figures, we don't have that kind of revenue to incur that cost.
Go ahead, Russell.
Yeah, I'm not against, improvements. It's just the dollar amounts that kind of iffy here. We go through a budget process every year, and we expect these programs to submit budgets. And I'm assuming they probably didn't include it into their budget, this increase that they have to pay on an annual basis now, I'm hearing. So, I guess you should be able to collect majority of the monies that programs are going to pay in, right? I mean, you guys are proposing this big upgrade, so you guys should be well aware of what you guys are doing, right? With programs.
We weren't aware of the actual pricing until the end of December. That was after the programs had submitted their budgets. So we were unaware of that price change. I started working on this into December because, you know, trying to get ahead, and because the renewal, the actual annual renewal is up in June. And so if we could figure something out, and if there was incurring costs, that we would give the programs adequate time to hopefully adjust their budgets accordingly to offset some of these costs.
I'm assuming it's not a big chunk.
Annually, last year, it was $77 per user for a year. That's what they just paid, a one-time fee, and that was it. Now, it's moved up to $167 a year.
Times 8, right?
Your own timeline, we can talk to Jeff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, you know, I think I was gonna make a point that, Santi, next time, you might wanna get this through the committee earlier, and it would be a lot less discussion if it went through the committee, so, that's just a thought.
Can we include number 6, that vendor purchase pay? Even though you have one, I'd like to see it on paper now.
Okay, so you wanna,
Would that be would that, I guess our attorney's here, so.
It just need to be included in your approving motion that you're amending the resolution to include a provision requiring the vendor to obtain a valid business license as part of their documentation. Right, and the quote in the resolution and the business license is the only agreement we have with them.
At some point, you know, the business license isn't that much, it's $50. You know, we have to maybe increase that at some point. I don't know, tax commission or what is finance or.
Department of Revenue.
Speakers.
Pam, do you have a question, comment?
What's the possibility of changing this to a 1 year, just so that we can be able to get the programs to adjust their budgets for the next funding cycle? Because there's a motion by Council Rep Plank that that the budgets need to be turned in, was it in April, right? So that budget and finance can. Yeah. Mine's on, Russell's wasn't on when he was talking, and, but, can you hear me? It's quiet?
So are we gonna bring this on the floor? Do we need to bring it on the floor?
Well, before I do anything, I would like to know if we can change this to a year, because it's a 3-year contract.
Yes, and the price increased because he requested an upgrade to our.
You can do the 1 year, however, the price changes. We're getting I think a 50% discount by doing 3 years. However, if we do the 1 year, then the price does change and it goes up per user. That was the reason why for the 3 years.
So I guess that's what really bothers me, is that we're going into a commitment of 3 years based off of a savings, but yet there was no kind of negotiation back here. He's only getting 5 days, that really pushes us to hurry up and approve this and hurry up, bring it on the floor, all of that. I mean, I don't know I don't know if programs can afford some of this. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, I don't know. But right now we're in a pandemic and people are expecting us to, do a lot of things. Programs are still trying to get things situated within their budgets. So I guess my opinion on this is there should have been some negotiation, and maybe that's probably what needs to happen. There needs to be something said for the rest of the funding year, and then something brought back before the next funding happens to have a workable, agreeable 3-year contract with somebody. We got in trouble with Marco. Was it Marco, the copier thing? We got in trouble with that because a lot of directors didn't understand what was going on. But I don't know. If we're just going to hurry up, rush, and pass it, I won't vote, because I don't like putting our tribe in them situations.
Okay, if we're gonna discuss this and we're gonna actually try to prove it today, we need somebody to bring it on the floor. Need to reconsider 2022-75 and approve. Motion to approve.
Chairman,
Go ahead, Donna.
the number that's on there, is that because it went to committee?
No, it was brought on yesterday and it was given a number as emergency legislation.
It was laid on the table, so the motion would be to take it off the table.
Okay.
And consider.
I guess the motion would be to take it off the table and reconsider and approve. Go ahead, Damon. You make the motion? Okay. Damon makes motion. Need a second?
Donna, I'll second.
Donna seconds. Need a question? Dara. Okay. Russell, you got a question before we? As amended? As amended? Okay.
Chairman, what's amended?
My bad.
Do we have to shell out the whole $300 and some thousand, or do we do it on a yearly increment?
Today, wire
Okay.
transfer.
So, where's it coming from, I guess? What line item through our budgeting process does that come out of?
So on the second page of the resolution, excuse me while I locate it. So it is coming from the tribe's loss of revenue, and it will be repaid by the IT department. Keep in mind, council, that there are over 1,000 active employees. I know of maybe 3 or 4 programs do not have email accounts for their employees, such as forestry. But thinking of that, just thinking about 1,000 subscriptions, this is for 800. What happens if we exceed the 800 mark? I think the IT director indicated there was like 700 active emails, but that was a question I have. But it will be coming from the tribe's loss of revenue within the general fund, and it will be paid back by the IT department as stated in the final whereas of the approving resolution.
So yesterday you mentioned that you had about 600,000 in that lost revenue, roughly, right? And is this already included into that, or
That was
do we have to deduct the $388,000 from that $600,000 that you mentioned?
It was included in that estimate of what was left. I will have the rest of the information for the loss of revenue at tomorrow's budget and finance meeting for us to discuss and approve the budget for. But this would be taking from the 1.3 million.
Okay, Share.
Thank you. So I understand how important our emails and all of the whole package that you're getting. I understand how important that is for us to continue to do business as a tribe. I know that inflation is happening throughout the world right now, and that's something we're going to have to deal with. However, I do have the same concern as Councilwoman Kilsenwater about our directors. Have you had any correspondence with them regarding the price increase? And if not, could you ask for another extension from the company and give us some time, or the chairman some time, to reach out to our directors to make sure that they're aware and that they're able to pay this? And if not, where we can figure out how much it's gonna in the end cost the tribe.
To add to that, I did start a conversation with the finance department, the CFO, and the treasurer as far back as January regarding this, how to proceed with it, due to the fact that IT did not have the revenue to facilitate this cost. As time had went on, it came shorter and shorter down to the wire. So we finally actually had to sit down and I got with the treasurer about how to go about funding this, and this is kind of where we're at right now.
The price will remain the same if we don't upgrade our Google account for the programs. It might be smart of us to maybe look at an upgrade for the next fiscal year to accommodate the programs. We did have a discussion in January, but the deadline came to my attention on Monday.
Thank you. That's kind of what I was getting at, just to give them some time to plan for next year. We're trying to get ahead of our finance planning and make it so our programs aren't operating on 1/12 of a budget. I also wanted to say that, technology is a big part of our world now. So I'm not saying that I don't support this or your program, but I also think that, as a tribe, we need to make sure we're allocating money for technology and not just putting the bill on IT department. I think their department is to provide a service and make sure that our programs are taken care of, and we should make sure that we budget in our overall budget from the general account some money for IT. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Pam?
I guess one of my main concerns right now is the contract. What Eric had spoke about, he hadn't seen anything but the quote. So, we want to talk about changing verbiage inside the resolution. We probably really need, our attorney probably really needs to see the actual contract of what they're requiring inside of their stuff. There may be some things in there that we don't know. Thank you.
Okay, we have amendments. There was a question about what amendments from Donna. Can you answer that? What amendments for the ones online are going to be included in here?
The only amendment, to my understanding, that was discussed and requested was the amendment to include a provision and a whereas, and therefore be it resolved that the vendor be required to purchase and maintain a RST business license. That's my understanding of the amendment.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Dara, are you still going to question? Yeah. Okay. Dara questions. You're going to vote. Pam?
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Pam. Table. Second by Lisa. Any question? Steve? All in favor to table?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Online, Eileen?
Yes.
Stan?
Oh.
Donna? Ray?
Yes.
12.
Opposed?
Donna, no.
Opposed, Donna's opposed.
1.
Not voting?
2.
2. It is tabled. When is the time frame he can bring this back? Because we had 5 days extension. If he doesn't pay this, then there'll be no Gmail for a while.
I don't know if we really need to upgrade to the tier that we're at, because according to what it says on here, we're on the top tier that they have. I don't know, maybe this is why it's to say there's no negotiation done. So maybe he should call them and say, we're meeting on the 23rd. This is when it's gonna come back with everything that he needs to do. He has till then to get with Eric, get the proper contract in place, change the verbiage in a resolution, get with directors, see if that price that he negotiated with them on is suitable.
Can you do that? Santi, can you report back to me today sometime to see if they are going to allow that to happen? Can you do that?
I can attempt that negotiation. I've tried it back in December. What we have right now, they no longer offer package, and that is why. And we moved up to the next package. We were over that limit of users. The next package up was 300 users. The next package after that was about 300 and some users. But we went over that threshold limit with Google. So Google is one who dictates what they're going to charge. And so we were left, okay, this is what we have. However, if we move to a different platform, that incurs more cost. We went to Microsoft, and that's looking at $300 and something per user, and that's a whole nother platform. And if we went that route, then we would have a lot of employees, a lot of programs having to learn a new system next. So this was a negotiation. Of Google email, that's all they are. And so what they are able to get, this is what they can offer us.
Well, I guess you can sit here and you can verbally tell us that, but like our attorney said, we don't even have no kind of actual verbiage of black and white on what's all entailing in it. So, you know, if you can get all of that today, you know, I'd be willing to reconsider. You need to change your resolution. You need to go over it with Eric, and that's the other thing. I don't know if Eric's gonna have time to look at it today.
I think he should. I think maybe they can sit down together and call them and negotiate or whatever you guys want them to do. Okay, we had a table in motion, so Santi, will you please go back with maybe Eric and see if you guys can contact somebody, maybe bring it back before the day ends?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, we have in health services. I'm gonna have to call them because we haven't had a report from health services for quite a while. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
Scheduled to be here now?
No, I can call them though. See if they come down here. Go ahead, Treasurer.
So moving on, the handout that was handed out yesterday, does everybody still have that? I believe Brienne, yeah, yep. I'm just asking to revisit this. Also, if somebody wants to text it to the group chat, I don't have my cell phone and I'm not included in the group chat. But, so there's a standing motion by Eileen Schott to approve $500 incentive pay for current community chairmen upon availability of funds from the President's Association budget. Second by Charlie Spotted-Tail, question by Donna. The vote was 8 in favor, 0 opposed, and 4 not voting. But I continued to get requests from the CPA regarding what the action is regarding this standing motion.
Morning, Council. Oh, this is being late today, but, Treasurer DeNoyer, I just have a question. How is this incentive pay considered a loss of revenue?
So it will be paid from the tribe's loss of revenue budget. The monitor and the CFO of the ARPA office indicated that it would be an allowable expense.
So in the past, is this the first time this type of incentive pay has ever been given out? Or has it been given out? Is it like a regular occurrence?
No, this has never happened to my knowledge. I don't know if there was something in the past that maybe Russell can think of that was given to the Chairman's Association in terms of incentive, but to my knowledge not, and it was not included in their budget, which is attached on the second page. But it is a standing motion. We do have the available funds, and like I said, I continue to get requests from the CPA individual chairs of the communities asking about the status of this standing motion. So just to give them an answer, I'm requesting council discussion and action.
Okay,
Can I say
Council.
something?
Go ahead, Donna.
Oh, this is Eileen. The CPAs, or the chairmans did a lot during the pandemic. They were out and about in the public's eye, and they didn't receive anything. So that's why I was in support of this, because there's no such thing as premium pay for them, but just something to appreciate.
Eileen, your motion would need to be amended to state that the source of the funds for payment shall be the RST general account loss of revenue budget.
Yes, as amended.
And how much is that gonna cost? Is it like 80,000 or something like that? Daryl, go ahead.
About 15,000.
15,000?
Good morning, Oyate. I know that the community chairs do a lot. They're always at the community halls. They have a lot to deal with. They don't often get as much recognition as we should be giving them. $500 isn't much, considering that the old council all got premium pay. I don't know how much you guys gave yourselves, but you could certainly give these guys who are dealing with the people. I was wondering if we could bring Victor DeVille in here to give us a rundown on what leadership is As council people, we represent our community. Those chairmen represent the members. We voice what the community wants, not what we as council people want as an eagle, not what our spouses want, or not what programs we used to work for want. We work for the Oyate, and we seem to forget that. So if we can give $500 to 20 community chairmen, I thought you guys would be Kili. If not, that just shows that money, they say, is the root of evil. Yeah, it's this council's hands. So thank you very much.
Also, I do want to just add, council, just for your information, that some of the chairs are employees and they did receive a bonus, so they will not be receiving an additional bonus of 500 if they already received their tribal employee bonus. Just wanted to add that.
I think that if we do this,
Donna, I got you. Put you down.
we have to be fair across the board. And this incentive is just going out for the chairmans, but the community chairs, but we should also consider the other officers too. So if we're going to do it for just the community chairs, let's do it for all the other officers.
Yes.
Which is going to be a very high expense. And the other obstacle that we're going to run into is some of those chairs are no longer in that seat. That switched over in August, so it's going to cause more problems than anything. So I think we got to look out for the best interests of our finances and our tribe, and maybe reconsider this again and get guidelines from our spending to see if we could even pay that out of loss of revenue, because I know our budget can't cover the 10,000 that we've already passed our general budget. I don't know where we get it out of. So something to consider.
Considering that it would be fair across the board, it will take the expense up to about 60,000 from the tribe's loss of revenue budget. Again, Joseph Eve and Jim White, the CFO of the ARPA office, did send an email stating that it was an allowable expense. This is a council decision, council prerogative.
So in that, I'm sorry. So in that, does that mean that when the 5 years is up of ARPA, if the U.S. Treasury doesn't see it as an allowable expense, the tribe will end up having to pay that back anyway?
You are right.
We have Pam and Donna.
I'll pull my
Yield the floor.
question back.
Okay, Donna?
Okay. My thoughts were the motion, what the motion says for the 20 communities, and then the treasurer had his thought of saying no to those who are employed. So now there's one opinion that's not on the motion. And if the motion says 20 council reps, then, 20 chairmen, then we stick to that motion. Thank you.
Any more discussion? He's wanting some permission to go ahead and do it, right? There's already a motion and motion to do it, so as long as there's money available, so